Well, tonight we're going to make some freekeh salad with butternut squash, walnuts, and raisins. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to make the lemon tahini dressing. So we're just going to start off with 1 lemon, and it should yield about 2.5 tablespoons of lemon juice. If you ever got one of these are fantastic. They do a great job of getting the juice from your fruits. So 1 lemon, and then you're going to use 1 clove of garlic. You want to mince your garlic, and if you have a mincer, you can use that. I like to grate it. I think it mixes a lot easier. Just get a tablespoon of water. Just a little bit of salt, and I like to use Mediterranean sea salt. It's kind of coarse, so I'm going to have to grind it up. Don't need too much, just about 1/2 teaspoon. And then just a little bit of pepper, about 1/8 teaspoon or so. About 1/4 cup of olive oil. Now, since this is a dressing, you want to use the olive oil that's going to taste the best. So this is kind of your generic cooking oil. And when you have something like this, extra virgin olive oil, this particular brand I really like. It's very fragrant. And so this is something that you wouldn't necessarily cook. So the dressings, the olive oil that you use in your dressings, you want to be the ones that you're not necessarily cooking. It's about 1/4 cup. Together. And then last, not least, is your tahini, which is basically sesame seed butter. So about 2 tablespoons of that. That's what it's going to look like. Kind of like a creamy Italian vinegar. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the ingredients prepared. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to roast a butternut squash. And so the first thing to do is to get the oven set to 450 degrees and make sure that your rack is at the lowest possible position in the oven. Alright, well now while that's heating up, we're going to go ahead and cut up our squash. You only need about 1.5 pounds, but butternut squash can get kind of big too. We're going to cut the top and bottom off so it gives us a nice stable platform to cut. And then we're going to just take the skin off. Basically our skin or peel, whatever you want to call it, is off of our butternut squash. Go ahead and cut it in half because any squash is going to have seeds in it, so we got to take those seeds out. Okay. So now we've got our 2 hollowed out butternut squash. Just lay them flat. It's safer to cut them that way. And you can either cut them lengthwise or you can cut them crosswise. It's up to you. We're going to cube them basically, and we want to keep them at about 1/2 inch or so. So however you want to do it. Transferred over to a rimmed baking sheet here. So this is a real cooking show because it takes a while to cut the squash. Used to watching these shows on television or online, always seems like it's done pretty quickly. Well, in reality it's not. It takes some time. So, we've got all these pieces here on our own baking sheet. And the next thing that we want to do is want to go ahead and put some olive oil over it. We're going to season it with salt and pepper and some fenugreek powder. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and use a Cypress Black Lava Sea Salt. You can buy this in Ashland, Oregon. Probably buy it online. It's the Spice and Tea Exchange. I'm just going to put a pinch of black sea salt in there. Black pepper, and just about half a teaspoon or so of fenugreek. That's quarter teaspoons right there. I'm going to mix that up. It looks like I have just enough olive oil left in this thing. Mix this up with our hands. Olive oil all over it. Now, I'm going to just sprinkle this over. Salt, pepper, and fenugreek. Alright, so we got that. We're going to go ahead and roast it at 450 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes. We'll see you back in a little bit. Alright, well while the butternut squash is roasting, what we're going to do is we're going to start getting the freekeh. We're going to get our freekeh on. We're going to get the freekeh in some boiling water. And freekeh is a Middle Eastern grain. It's basically, well it is, it's wheat. It's harvested while it's young and then roasted. It's like that. It's like, kind of looks like bulgur, but it's called and pronounced freekeh. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get our pot of water here filled. 4 quarts or so. You're going to end up boiling the grain and then draining it when it's done. So it's not a big deal if you have a lot of water in there or not. You just don't want to have too little. So we're going to get that going and then we'll put it in there, and it's going to boil for about 30 to 45 minutes or so. And then we have to drain it and cool it. So we'll see in about 45 minutes. Alright, we are just about to take our butternut squash out of the oven. This is our Blue Star oven. It's got a French door, which makes it really easy to take stuff in and out of. That is what that should look like. Also, for the last few minutes roasting cycle, I also roasted about 1/3 cup of walnuts because that's going to go in our salad as well. Alright, I'm going to check on the freekeh. Looks pretty good. Kind of looks like an oatmeal when you're done with it. That's kind of what it looks like there. And now we're going to drain it. And this is draining in a Pampered Chef colander. Alright, while that is draining and cooling, the next thing we're going to do is chop up some cilantro, and then we'll put everything together, and that'll be it. It'll be time for dinner. Welcome back, here we go. This is the final part of the freekeh salad. First, because my wife asked me, she goes, aren't you supposed to have your normal glass of wine when you're cooking? I said, yeah, but I had to wait 35 minutes for stuff to cook. I couldn't be drinking for 35 minutes. I mean, I guess I could, but I'm gonna do a rosé. We had this the other night. It's a rosé from Chateau Ste. Michelle. It's a Washington wine. It's dry, crisp, and elegant. I didn't make that up, it's on the bottom. Alright, it's pretty easy. All we're gonna do now is combine everything. So we have our freekeh. Grab our butternut squash. Got some golden raisins here that I had soaked in some warm water. I'm just gonna drain those real quick. Got our roasted walnuts. Our cilantro. Look how colorful that is. It's looking great. Remember that lemon tahini dressing that we made? Put that in here in a little bit. Go ahead and get all this tossed together first. And put our tahini sauce in. Or dressing, I said sauce, but it's a dressing. Now we'll grab a bowl. If you want, you can put a little bit of salt and pepper in it. I know there's a guy in Turkey, like a Salt King guy, and he does this. So, since we're doing Middle Eastern dish tonight, we'll throw some of the salt in, just like that. And there you go, some freekeh salad with roasted butternut squash, golden raisins, walnuts, and cilantro. Cheers.